and welcome to another Harrogate podcast with me, Andrew Gray. Normally in the Harrogate podcast, I deconstruct the movers and shakers in this wonderful Harrogate bubble in which we live and work. Well, some of us do anyway. But today I have a different proposition for you, more of a sort of marketing pitch, and I'm afraid to say, or proud to say, from this wonderful, super proud Yorkshire lass, if I could say that, Suzie Muir. Welcome.
Well, hello Andrew, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you for taking my questions in our pre-chat, and I'm going to make them a lot more tricky in this real chat now on the podcast. Now listeners, Suzie, I said, is Yorkshire through and through. She was born in York, she lives in York now, and she did the most Harrogate thing I could ever think of and go to art school here in Harrogate. I didn't even know it was here, but it sounds like a fantastic experience. Suzie was actually telling me in our sort of pre-chat that she was so super cold living here, which is odd because you would have thought York and Harrogate are similar temperatures, but I think Harrogate is cold. And I'm a Mancunian and Harrogate is freezing. Even the summer it's cold, as glorious as it is. But Suzie, I'm not going to interrogate you so much about you and your ace, but tell us about the Yorkshire Business Review that you are helping to promote.
Thank you. Yes, I am, as you say, very proud to be Yorkshire. I am very passionate about what we have to offer, and what we have discovered is that there is a void in the marketplace to celebrate and talk about fantastic business achievements and successes. We are great at what we do, be that financial services, be it law firms, be it manufacturing and exports. We're really good at what we do, and yet we very rarely get to hear about it. And certainly as a consumer, as a resident, I don't get to hear about these things. So I think that we should be talking about them more, and the Yorkshire Business Review is giving us that platform to get those messages out there on a platform of like-minded people, business to business. So you've got CEOs, CFOs, partners, lawyers, people that really know their businesses, hopefully coming together to learn about each other's industries and find synergy, but also to perhaps help each other in developing their business, in diversifying sometimes, and where we can actually bounce ideas off each other and moving forward to make Yorkshire even greater.
As a Mancunian, as I said, perhaps this is the reason why I have a podcast and I blog, and I'm happy to sort of speak to the world and be a bit sharey and so on. But I do think the Yorkshire mentality is somewhat different, and as I'm not a proper Yorkshireman, but I do love living around here. But you're right, I think the Yorkshire folk are less inclined to be like the Mancunians and look at me, look at my business sort of thing. So I suppose you're helping to give a voice to those businesses. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, for we are a big region in some respects, but what goes on locally in the nitty-gritty we very, very rarely hear about. And I think there are some really fantastic success stories. We know that in Leeds is a huge financial district. Channel 4 are coming to live there very soon. But in Harrogate there are equally great stories. In York there are equally great stories. And I think that we need to learn about those. And as businesses, we need to share experience and develop ideas, work together to make to grow our business and whatever that may be. I
would agree. At the moment, and for the next 2 weeks, I'm the president of the local law society, the Harrogate District Law Society, and we've had this idea of promoting Harrogate as a centre of legal excellence. And the reason being is because I think that we don't shout about how good the law firms are around here. Perhaps when people think of Harrogate, they think of Betty's and the Baths and all those things which are great. But actually the professional services firms, in part thanks to the spin-off from Leeds, are really, really good. And I think the people of the local area don't know actually how good their local services are. They just think, well, they're local, they'll be like any other town. And actually, I think we're better than most places. And so nationally as well, we find it as a law firm, when we come up against people from, Birmingham or Manchester, London, they might think, Harrogate? Where's Harrogate? I bet their lawyers are hopeless. And often we get treated with a little bit of disrespect. But I think we really need to sing about it,
Absolutely.
shout about it, and sort of sing about it too. So the Yorkshire Business Review, it's a new publication. Is it digital, or is it actually sort of in hard copy?
It's both.
Okay.
Initially, there will be 5,000 hard copies that are distributed very strategically to be in the places where the target audience of those CEOs, business owners, CFOs, etc. will be. So the likes of Leeds Bradford Airport, Doncaster Airport, for instance, hotel foyers, conference centres, universities, colleges, where you might find those people. In addition to those 5,000 copies, there will be an e-magazine. The magazine will also have its own website and social media platforms, where we can, it will be completely real-time content that is updated, and so that, if you've got a story in the middle of the week that you want somebody to hear about, you don't need to wait until the next hard copy edition for the audience to read that story. We can publish it there and then for you. In addition to that, there will also be a subscription offering where that subscriber database is around 6,000 to 10,000 at the moment. By the end of Q1, Q2, we should see significant growth on that. And again, all like-minded job-related people, so CFOs, CEOs, etc. And I think that the magazine is so creatively good-looking that it will garner lots of momentum, that those numbers will increase quite significantly very quickly.
And explain to my audience, and to me please, the Yorkshire Business Review is just one publication of many that your company has. Will you tell us a little bit more about those other publications?
Yes, well, we have recently rebranded our name to Local IQ. Most people will know us as NewsQuest, and we will always remain that. And we have 200 plus local newspapers across the country. The magazine specific for the Yorkshire region would be Yorkshire Living, Harrogate Living, Prime Magazine, and the beautiful Stray magazine, which is specific and unique to Harrogate.
Gotcha. And you used to work, I think, for Johnston Press, which I think Johnston Press, I think Harrogate Advertiser and so on. So you're very familiar with the businesses and the people and these parts.
Absolutely. I worked specifically within the recruitment advertising area at Johnston Press. So I know lots of local businesses and have probably helped with their recruitment along the way over the years.
Now, you've not had this question from me in advance, so I'm going to test you to see how you do. What is so unique and so wonderful, if it is, of actually doing business in this region, where obviously we don't talk about it a great deal amongst ourselves? What's so great about it?
Well, there's a lot. There's a couple of aspects, as well as all the being passionate about being Yorkshire and having this fantastic county, to live in. The businesses that are here are really the backbone of where we live and on our daily life. And there's the local aspect. There's the very local community sense from the publications that we have, and not only that, but the businesses that are within our region. People feel comfortable because it's a well-known Yorkshire brand name, but also at the same time we have a really huge national reach because of the world of technology. So you might be a lawyer that is in Harrogate, but actually you could have clients that are in London or that are in Cornwall, and we can reach those customers for you.
Got it. So the strength of any publication, of course, Suzie, is in the content, the quality of the content. Tell us about where you're getting the content from, who are the journalists, etc., please.
Yeah. For this initial first issue, we have a fantastic, actually award-winning editor in Susan Stevenson, who is very experienced at what she does. And I say she's only committed to this first edition. We're keeping everything crossed. But it is a collaborative thing. And of course, a lot of people, a lot of businesses have got fantastic stories to tell. So they reach out and say, you know, contact Susan and say, you know, we have got this success story, can we please talk about it? With the Yorkshire Business Review, you know, we're giving a specific platform for those stories to be told to the right people. In addition to that, of course, if you are an advertiser within the magazine and you have got a success story that you want to talk about, then by all means we are happy to run that. It's something that we are really passionate about, very excited about what this next year is going to bring with the magazine and the stories that we can get out. We've got fantastic business awards around the region as well, and towards the end of the year the likes of Michelle Mook won a business award, Castle Employment won awards. These people need to be able to tell their stories and reach out to prospective new customers, but also at the same time be able to speak to like-minded business people that are going to enjoy their story and take inspiration from it.
Michelle Mook, now there's a name I know from a previous podcast.
Yes.
And she is great fun and highly successful and hugely liked, like most of my podcast interviewees, I have to say. Now, Suzie, how do people get in touch with you? How do they find you and the Yorkshire Business Review? Because I think the website is more or less there.
Yes, absolutely. The website isn't live yet, but you can come to me direct at the York Press office or local IQ office. My details, you can go to www.yorkpress.co.uk, and you can also go to the gazetteherald.co.uk, and you will find not only the editor's details, but you'll find mine and the business team's details on there. Also, a great contact to have is our head of advertising, our advertising director, Jane Hanson. Her details are also on the website, so please get in touch if you are at all interested.
Super, thank you very much. I hope you guys absolutely smash it, and I hope we can sort of be un-Yorkshire-y and sort of celebrate our success locally. It's been a pleasure interviewing you, meeting you this morning. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, I really appreciate it.